Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies. Build update number 1 of our Revell's 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner kit. This is going to be a 2-kit build. We're going to start out here with a junker, and then we're going to go to a factory fresh. Y'all remember that when I got my Roadrunner kit, it was all beat to snot, and Lennis saw that and he's like, nah, you can't do that, man. So he sent me a whole nother kit in perfect condition. So I decided we're going to keep this kit, we're going to junk it out. I've never done that on video, so I'm going to show everybody how I do it, and then we'll go in with the other kit and we'll build that factory fresh. We're going to put both of them on the same display so that it'll be like a Lazy Susan, so you can go old to new, and I think that'll be pretty cool. So let's jump down here and see what we got going on. We got Duke taking pictures, and Jake, and Lee, and Daisy. Chandler's in here digging in. TJ's trying to figure out why in the heck we even got that, along with Lori. Tim's here, and he hired a new guy. Since Sid's been having all these problems, we hired some security here so we don't get into that problem. He had some problems back in subblock 1138, but that's okay now. He's got that figured out. So let's dive into this body here. I started out, I dented a couple of the fenders on top. I dented them on the side here and here, and on the back side, even though you're not going to see it, I still have it because this side's going to be up against the wall. Remember, this was all bent to snot. We're going to leave that alone. I don't think I'm going to use a front window in here. We will have the back glass in there though. I cut the battery out. It's gone because it's not going to be there. The engine's not going to be there. I was going to leave the master cylinder in, but it's only half a master cylinder, so we're not going to use it. But the car got a couple of shots of 12 gauge buck in it, and I put these where they are so when this is in place, the bottom, the door panel, I don't have to drill into that to match it. It'll be behind the dashboard. So I didn't want to get into all that, trying to match a line through it with the frame and all that, and if things shifted it just wouldn't look right. So the body's good to go. Lennis told me that no problem gluing this on the back, so I did. He says these will go in easy enough. So we're good there. The front end, we didn't do anything to yet. We're not real, I don't think I'm going to yet, but we're not. The dashboard is all the parts are clean now, but the dash lost the radio. And that was easy to do. I just drilled a couple of holes, cut it out with a knife, and we're good to go there. We are going to put the gauges and everything in, so that's going to be detailed. I'm going to get some crackle paint to put on the top here. So we'll paint this a gray color first, then I'll put the crackle paint on, and then I'm going to go over it with my black, and that should crack that up to what looks like it's sun beat. So there is that. And while we're talking about the interior, didn't do anything with the tub itself, but we have a resident living in the front seat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this up, and this I probably should have done on this side, but when you're holding it upside down, see what I did. But what we're going to do is we're going to paint it, we're going to rust up the springs, and those springs are 0.3 millimeter solder just wrapped up around a little anvil I have. And then there goes the furnace. But then what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take some Elmer's glue and thin it out and paint this on pretty good. And we're going to take some paper towel and we're going to just put it on here, paint it on with that thinned out Elmer's glue. That way it'll go in all the nooks and crannies and everything and look good. And then I'm going to paint this after that dries. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll poke a hole in the paper towel And the Elmer's glue should give that a little bit more body. Just a little bit is all I need, because I want to take with tweezers and peel that back and open it up a little bit, and we're going to take dryer fluff and put in through the back and weave it in around all the pieces of solder. And then I'm going to put either a raccoon head or a squirrel in here living, and that, I think that'll look pretty fun. You'll still be able to see it across looking through the window. I'll have it looking this way, and I think that'll be fun. Just a little bit of interest in there. And then our radiator is gone, because the engine's gone, the radiator's gone too. And all I did with that is I drilled 4 holes the same side as the arch around inside the radiator. And then I came in with my trumpeter panel cutter, and I just went across and across until I was cut the hole out. Now that left the radiator still standing proud inside here. So what I had to do is I had to sand that down all the way down to the flange. And I left the flange part on there, and I drilled out the 3 holes on each side where the radiator would mount. And I think that's going to look pretty good. I did have a little faux pas right here, but that's okay. I used some Tamiya putty on there and sanded it down almost flat. And I'm okay with that, because this is going to be rusted out anyhow, so I'm not a whole heck of a lot worried about it. The exhaust and drivetrain, I'll back you up just a little bit so we can see what we're talking about. It all got cleaned up, all the lines taken off of the exhaust. We're going to leave the exhaust in. I still have to drill a couple of holes in both sides here, just so that I can have it rusted out real good. We're going to paint this with flat aluminum, then we're going to rust it back out. I'm going to paint this with just chrome silver. I'm not going to worry about shiny chrome on here, but then I'll come back and we're going to rust the entire thing out. I drilled out, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but I did drill out the part on the back and the hole in the exhaust. That's awful tiny to drill too, but it's in there. So we're going to rust everything out here. The drive shaft I cut off because the engine's gone, the drive shaft is going to be gone. I'll put the drive shaft and probably a piece of exhaust manifold in the back seat or something like that, and I'll maybe even chuck a carb in there or something just for interest. You know, we'll have wires hanging out. Like I said, the radiator or the radio is gone, so I'm going to have some wires hanging out of where the radio was, and it's going to be pretty cool. A lot of interest in this. The chassis, so far the only thing I did was removed where it said made in China here. I don't need that. I don't think anybody else, even though it's going to be flat out and you'll never see it, I don't want it there. So I didn't have to do a whole lot with that or the front suspension either. I just sanded it out, you know, got rid of all the panel lines and the mold lines, and the little tiny bit of flash that this had is gone. Here's that dryer fluff that I was telling you about. This will work perfect inside there. With the body, we'll come back to that again. I'll back us back out. With the body, I'm going to start out with Hull Red, and I'm going to paint everything with Hull Red. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to mix that Hull Red with we'll use some of the XF60, the dark tan. We're going to use some red brown, some NATO brown, and even some flat red on this. And I'll mix that all around and in, and we won't do it even. We're going to make it all different so that there's all kinds of variations in this. And then I'll let that dry for 2 days, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to mix my X21 flat base with my Quick Shine, and I'm going to give this thing 2 coats of flat. And what that'll do is that'll seal all that paint in, It'll seal everything up, and we'll let that sit overnight. We'll come back with Elmer's glue again, and with a foam brush that I just tear the foam up, and we're going to stipple this all over the place. Around here, where the shot glass are, the dents are, and all that, wherever we're going to have rust, you know, where it lays in here and down the back and around, we're going to do all that, and then we'll let that dry. Then we're going to come back with XF3, and I'm going to give this the lightest of light coats that I can get that'll cover everything. And I'm going to use XF3, and then once that's done, I'm going to go over that with the XF3 and a little bit of flat white XF2, just a little bit to like lighten it up some more. And we're going to go straight down across the top, everywhere where the sun's going to beat down on top of it. I'm going to hit it with that, and then I'll do a little bit more, and we'll come in the centers here, and we're going to do that. This isn't going to have a hood, no engine or anything like that. So when that's done, we're going to let that sit for a couple of days just to harden up, and then we're going to come back with a toothbrush and some water, and we're going to scrub. As you know, it'll take a while. We'll scrub everything down, and what that'll do is wherever that Elmer's glue was, the paint's going to come off, and it's going to leave the little stipple effects of rust all over the place. We might do some little bit of fine sanding with some 5000 grit sandpaper up on top here to just sand away some of that paint to get down into that where there we go, where the quick shine is, and boom, that'll look fantastic. So there's that. Next, I did my chrome. Let me bring you in here if I can. I did my bumpers. I sanded them where I wanted it to be really rusty, and then this isn't doing very good justice of how this looks. And you can see I notched in here where the rust would run down, and I came back in there with my my rust, the orange from the panel, or the Weathermaster C, the orange rust, and I rusted everything out, and then I came back on top of that and I hit it with black panel liner, and now that's been sitting for a couple of days, so it'll dry out real well. And then what I plan on doing next is I plan on coming back with some more of this red and doing some more rust here and there. But I want to use all three bumpers. I don't want to drill holes through them and rot them out completely, because like I said, this is going to be a before and after. So we still want to save everything. We want to make it look good, but we don't want to make it to where it's so bad that we're going to take it and get it cubed. So that's where we are with that, and I think this is a pretty good place to stop for now. I'll bring you back when I get everything in paint, and we'll talk from there. So I will let you go. I want to thank you for the thumbs up, the kind words, and the subscriptions, and y'all have a great day and a better tomorrow. Thanks again for watching.